Ugandans are cowards. That's what he said. He said that for them, under the rule of Museveni, they've not been able to sort of express themselves in such a way. And we talked about Ugandans being able to experience some level of democracy, but we can clearly see, as an outsider, I can clearly see, or I can say maybe from my own point of view, that there could be things that Ugandans are not able to experience because of maybe Museveni or the laws in Uganda and the constitutional changes that keep happening. So, in your own opinion, do you think like Ugandans revere Museveni in such a way, or do you think that them voting Museveni every election, does that reflect genuine support, fear of instability, or limited political alternatives? We could start with you, Emmanuel. What do you think?
I believe that so many Ugandans, they are used to the political stability that the country has, and they've also got experience of what instability means, especially from seeing the neighboring countries which have been experiencing lots of civil war, especially like South Sudan. They know the impact of a country not having that political instability. And I think a section of Ugandans who disagree with Museveni, most of them are really not uh, disagreeing with him, maybe because, or they hate him because maybe he is a dictator or what. But I think most of them just feel that Museveni has stayed in power for quite long. I think that is the frustration. They just feel he has overstayed in power and they need change. But a section of Ugandans, they still do want him. And the question of whether their support for Museveni is genuine or not, I think uh, so many people, they are supporting him genuinely because they feel they all they need to have is just to have that political stability. And also there are people who uh, maybe support Museveni because of how the opposition has been portraying itself. Maybe there is a very popular observation from the African continent about leaders who were so much allied to the West. And when we look at the opposition right now, the opposition can be seen it through Bobi Wine right now. And so many people regard Bobi Wine to be as an imposter of the West. I mean, they look at him as a Western, someone who is being just imposed on Uganda by the Western countries. And Museveni has built his leadership on the African morals and the African cultures. I mean, he is this African leader who stands so much with all the ideals of Africans and the cultures and all these morals. And when they look at these two people, someone who they look at him as being imposed by the West, and someone who ideally stands with the beliefs of Africans, and they would see like, okay, maybe you would say that Museveni is not the I mean, it's not so perfect, but we are looking at someone that we don't know what he's going to bring in power when he becomes a president. We don't know what he's going to deliver. So I mean, and they might be thinking that it's better to have the devil you know than the angel you don't know, right? And therefore, their support for Museveni is can actually be gotten from the fear of what Bob Wine or what the opposition will bring in should they take over. So majority of them support Museveni not because he is perfect, not because maybe he is the good leader, but because they fear that maybe should they have a new leader, then they're not going to have a Uganda that they have been enjoying for all these decades. So I think that is the fear that is in the hearts of so many Ugandans right now who are pro Museveni, who supports Museveni. Their support might not be necessarily that Museveni is the best leader, is someone who can deliver, but they have the trust in him. For the last years, they have him as the president, and he has delivered the stability in the country. And they fear that when Bobi comes in, or when the opposition comes in, so they might take the country in a different way, right?